Hello everyone, I am Omega Zero.
I am Late Night CJ, aka Sweet Daddy in the streets.
And we are finally getting back to reviewing the Invincible show. Like what, 2 or 3 months after the previous one, I can't remember.
Kind of sort of like check the date on that.
Yeah, I'll probably put it up like right here or something. But since we're behind, we're going to cover 2 episodes today.
Alright.
That being episodes 4 and 5. 4 being called Neil Armstrong, Eat Your Heart Out.
Right.
And 5 titled That Actually Hurt. So, at this point in time, we have finished the series. And it just has been a while for us to actually get to watch this.
A lot of graduations and homework and all that stuff.
School and all that. So, I guess we should start with episode 4.
Okay.
What did you think of episode 4 before we actually, go into...
That was the Martians, right?
The one with the Martians, yes.
Well, I've always said about this show that there are certain parts of it I feel like are thinly veiled with real life situations, and it's almost like satirical how they do the show. I mean, even the characters, Aquaman was a fish. You know what I mean? Monster Girl, all these other types of plays, like, but she gets younger as she becomes an But anyway, the thing about it was, this is the one where the dad tries to tell, they tell the dad, well, we need you to go to Mars and handle this, right? Kind of go by the space mission. Make sure no aliens, take over. And he was like, nah, my job is to protect here. Not to be sitting up there basically babysitting astronauts and whatnot with some people up there that are inconsequential. But then the son, not knowing any better, trying to be grown.
So it's like, I'll do it.
Right. And he's like, all right, you think you can handle it? Go here. I think the father knew that his son would be able to, but he figured like, okay, it wasn't that dangerous of a mission that it'd destroy him, but it would let him know that, this is not a game. Because if that's kind of been like the theme leading up into the end, but we'll talk about the end later on.
When we get there.
But he was like, the reoccurring thing that the father has been trying to tell Invincible is basically, you're not about that life. You think you just barely got these powers a week ago, not literally, but you just barely got these powers a week ago, and you think you could jump in here with the big dogs. You know what I mean? Okay. Go up there then. You know what I mean? You got it? Go on up there. And what happened?
Everything that can't go wrong pretty much did go wrong. Because of his inattentiveness, basically he wasn't paying attention for a couple seconds because he went off to get his girlfriend a Martian rock.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he's like, oh yeah, this explaining thing. He's like,
you wasn't there to go sightseeing and get souvenirs, sir.
And due to that, the astronauts get kidnapped by the Martians, and Mark was like, all right, look, we're from Earth. We want no trouble. We just wanted to see if anything was here. Just kind of like explore Mars and all that. There's a funny little thing where he bows to the king, and the Martians are like, what the F is he doing?
Yeah.
And then the Martians get a whole backstory of look, we've been here forever. Parasites showed up. They started to take over our planet, and then we sealed them away. So we need to kill the humans to make sure that the parasites can't get away.
Because they put together this way of protecting themselves. Because once they need, what is it? They go into their brain or something like that.
Yeah, they go into their brain, take over their body or something.
And so they protected themselves, but humans come up there and they become a host. Better. Yeah.
To be fair though, would expect to go somewhere you wouldn't expect to find alien parasite. Again, who would?
You're on Mars.
You're on a planet, so
right. So you all bets are off. You know what I mean?
True, and the other kind of subplot of this episode is Debbie and Nolan and Omni-Man going to Rome to rekindle the romance after the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where Pete, like, he's trying to like win her over, in a sense.
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man, yes.
Well, he knows that what his. I mean, this is another thing. Like I said, it's thinly veiled with reality in the sense that most men in committed relationships have done something like that. You get too involved in your job, and you know, you become a workaholic trying to provide for your family. Not so much that that's what he does, but he has this really important job, like protecting the galaxy. And he starts to neglect his woman, so he's like, you know what? Alright, I'm gonna take the day off and me and you gonna kick it. And every man has done something like that for real.
If we didn't know what happened, that's what most people would have said.
That's what most people would assume, you're right.
We're saying
that's what he was going for.
In a sense, yeah, like, alright, I almost died, I've been protecting the galaxy, everyone's suspicious of me, so let's just go to Rome and have a day for us. But
and maybe you'll forget about all of this.
Yeah. But he's only telling her half-truths, and it's like, heck, even to the point where a kaiju is attacking in the background. He's like, I need you to trust me. And she's like, what? Like, she's kind of like focusing on, like, the giant kaiju takes, like, I know, I need you to trust me. Do you trust me? And she's like, alright, but it's probably out of the giant monster attack in the background.
But the thing about that is, hold on real quick.
Yeah. Screen turned up.
He's asking her, do you trust me and everything, but the question should be, should she trust him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you've been, you know, making this like, I want to live like a regular life, but do you really want to live this regular life? Or is your mission, which we'll talk about later on, greater than this life you created?
Yep. And we kind of get to the more of the ending of the episodes where Cecil, basically, like their equivalent of Nick Fury.
Yeah.
He realized that Nolan is the killer, but he has to figure out, like, alright, why did he kill the Guardians of the Globe?
Right.
It's like, was he mind controlled? Was he forced into doing it?
It's like they almost lead on to believe that he knows, he just needs confirmation.
Yeah, like he needs to find more proof as the reason why. Like, you know who the killer is, but like, why did the killer do it? It's like that type of investigation phase. And knowing that Dark Blood, basically, like his job is like, all right, I need to prove that this guy is evil.
So but he had an ulterior motive though.
Yeah, so basically, I help people, I stay out of hell.
Right.
So Cecil banishes Dark Blood back to hell somehow. So like we stated previous, there is a heaven and a hell in this universe. And he's unaware that Cecil hid his notepad in the house, and Debbie was able to find it within the next episode, or at the very end of this episode.
Right.
And the surviving Mahler twin from the previous episode, who sacrificed the other one, clones himself again, and they have like this weird shtick where he's like, I don't want to know which one's the clone and which one's real.
Right.
Which to themselves, like, alright, yeah, if they did that, like, they probably killed each other. And they're like, oh no, I'm the real one now.
Right.
But then, like, the robot monitors her progress before going back and stealing the DNA of Rexplode and bringing that DNA sample to his original body, basically.
Before we go any further, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How did Nolan's wife start to get curious? Wasn't it Dark Blood he was saying, look, he had said something?
He's like, yeah. Dark Blood basically planted this seed of doubt, like, your husband's the strongest man on Earth, and yet he's the only one that survived while the rest of the Guardians are dead? Kind of suspicious. And he's like,
And a woman knows a man. I mean, anybody, if you're around somebody for decades,
because it has been decades,
you know, there's certain things that, you know, are possible or or impossible, or should be, if everybody's being honest.
Yeah.
So when he said that, it was kind of like, I know this man, something ain't right. You know what I mean?
It was like Darkblood's the one who just planned that scene out. She, I guess, wanted to really hope for the best, but she didn't expect the worst.
Because she knows him.
Yeah, like, no, I know him for 2 years. Yeah, he came just by. Yeah, no, he's a good man. It's like,
You start putting a couple of decades behind that, and it's like, oh,
there's some bias.
I think I know him well enough. She could easily have dismissed it like, dude, you tripping.
Yeah.
But she knows him well enough that he's always had, like, she knows he goes to save the galaxy often. To the point now where she almost looks at it like a day at the office.
Yeah, right? It's like, and Mark comes up like, oh no, dang, it's such a different mention. Oh, it's just Tuesday. They're like, oh, he'll be back.
Right. But does she really know what he does when he goes on these missions?
I mean, he talks about it like in general, like, oh, someone's trying to take over the White House again.
Right.
And she makes a comment like, oh, like, you tried to go. It's like, did they know that the president doesn't live there anymore?
Hasn't lived there forever, you know what I mean? Exactly, so it's just like, when they were doing that, I know some people, if you don't look too deeply into it, there are certain parts of certain episodes where it's like, okay, this is fluff.
Yeah.
But as you get towards, the second to the last and the last episode, you see they're setting the stage. I'll just say that much. I won't go into. I don't want to,
Yeah, because we still got 2 more after this.
Right.
6 is going to be its own standalone episode, but 7 and 8 are going to be the big ones where that one might potentially go on for like an hour or be. So the amount of stuff that.
Yeah, there's a fact.
But at the end, Robot brings a DNA sample that he stole from Rex to his original deformed self.
Because he seen the way Monster Girl was looking at him.
He's like, And he also saw the Mahler twins clone this, so it's like, So I was like, alright, they do that. And then that's the end of episode 4. Now, it's setting up for future, obviously, and it's also trying to have Mark learn more responsibility. Like, Mark where it's like, alright, yeah, everything's still not sunshine and rainbows, but at least everything didn't go too bad, except one of the Martians swapped bodies with one of the humans, and one of the humans got left behind.
Taken over by them squids.
Yeah. So, it's setting up, so overall, I think it's a fine episode. A little, I guess, fillery, but it's obviously going to set up for like future. So I'll give it like a 6 or a 7 overall. Like it's not terrible, but I think like the constant like relationship drama between Mark and Amber, we'll also do a video on later.
I think that them having them that way allows them to become relatable as well. Like if it was just all moon, stars, quasars, jumping in and out of galaxies, it's like, oh, okay. But if you have some, that's what I said, when it's thinly veiled with reality, like the things that a husband and wife go through, the things that a father and a son go through, things that a teenager goes through, it makes the characters relatable. Like, so if Omni-Man was just an intergalactic warrior without any semblance of a soft side, it'd be easy to dismiss him once you didn't like him. You know what I mean? But if you make him a conflicted man, between his mission and his family, because the way his mission is, if his son didn't get down with the mission, you have to destroy him.
Yeah.
But he's like, but it's his son.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Moving on to actual episode 5, that actually hurt. This one I consider either the second in terms of like brutality, but it's like a very close second, like a point or 2 off. If I'm looking at the other episodes.
And it was kind of a turning point in the show too.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, okay, now we're coming towards the home stretch where some of this will make sense.
All right. Like, yeah, we're at the halfway point. It's time to rise up the action a bit. But this one, Debbie finds Dark Blades. Notepad. So the suspicion she had the previous episode that no one thought he set to rest, it starts to come back, and she starts to look at Nolan's super suit, like the one where he's like, "Hey, I want my suit back, so that way I can find out who did it." And it's like, or he says, "I just want it back." Then, like, we're going off the plot synopsis that I have on the wiki right here because, like I said, it's been a while since we watched these episodes.
Right. And we have real lives.
Yeah. Black Sam said lecture his teammates on failing to protect civilians due to like infighting because that was kind of like the problem. Like teams like they don't work well together. They aren't like the Avengers or the Justice League where like
we don't have to be friends, but we do got a job here.
Yeah, like at least in those episodes, they're like, yeah, they're friends. They work together for years. This one's like, screen's here off again. Robot secretly approaches the baller twins with an offer, and I guess like the subplot, the overarching subplot of Mark trying to help Amber, trying to make the relationship work.
Right.
It's like, all right, I'll help at the soup kitchen, since she as a recompromise since he neglected her while working as Invincible. At which Omni-Man also gave like, all right, look, you're gonna have trouble balancing these two lives.
Absolutely.
But he says
it's going to be hard to find somebody that's going to take this journey with you.
Yeah, and he
ain't too many people like your mother.
Yeah. And he basically says this like, look, like one of the earlier episodes, he's like, look, if you're gonna have to choose between the love and helping people, you choose helping people, because overall that matters more.
Yeah.
And like CJ said, it's like there ain't too many people who are gonna take that journey with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after a while, however, he must also help a superpowered Cloud named Titan defeat his boss, Machine Head.
That's kind of crazy to use the description of thug.
Well, he kind of is. He's like a thug by force. Like, he's a thug working for someone, but he's also a family man. Like, the main bad guy, I say main bad guy in quotes, Machine Head, just says, oh, well, he layers thinly veiled threats like, oh, I'm not sure if he owes him money or if he saved his life or something. I can't remember.
There is some debt to be paid.
There is some debt to be paid, so Machine Head's only working for him, not by his own choice. So he tries to call Invincible, like, look, you need to help me. And Mark's rightful response, like, why should I help you? You're a villain. I beat you up before. What's stopping me from doing it now? And he's like, all right, let me show you. And he goes on, how do we get here? It's like a little comedic scene. He's like, this is degrading, where Invincible's carrying him around. He's just like, this is degrading. But he's like, yeah, well, you guys are all focusing on the big world-ending threats. Like, you're also not paying attention to those small little things that are playing.
Play to his human side.
Yeah. And Mark is very human. He's like, so Titan goes home, sees his family, Mark's just off to the side. He's like, all right, I'll help you. And like I said, we're going to plot synopsis. So we're just kind of like skipping over a lot of the general stuff, like probably like individual scenes. So, I mean, you get a scene with Titan earlier where he has like a lot of respect for people who have families.
Right.
Like with the earlier one. Yeah, like with the earlier scene where he's trying to collect money off this dude for Machine Head, I'm assuming, and he's about to drop the dude off the building. He sees the wallet and he's like, oh man, the guy got me. He's like, all right, look, I'll extend your debt, but don't tell anybody. So yeah, he has respect for people's families, or at least it seems that way. Because he doesn't want to kill kids. He's like, kid, get out of here. Don't do anything stupid. The kid does something stupid regardless. But he lets him go, I believe. Or I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think he does let the kid who's doing something stupid, because he's like, not everyone wants to be a bad guy by choice. Some people do, but not everyone's a bad guy. Yeah, but not everyone's a bad guy by choice. Then we move on to the next part where they're like, all right, Titan's like, all right, you, me, and the Guardians, we're gonna go take down Machine Head. And they're like, all right, let's go. Except Machine Head's probably saw like a million miles away, and he has a bunch of supervillains for security. Guardians arrive for help, but this is the really violent part of the episode. Like, you have your typical villains who's like, oh yeah, they're giving the hero some trouble, but you can probably see it.
This is the thing. This goes back to what I was saying about how the dad is trying to protect him from his own naivete. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're very naive. You're green.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can manipulate. This is not your regular world. This isn't like the bully, you know, in like the first episode where he gets beat up.
Yeah. Like, or it's not
the bully in your school. These are a different level of villains and goons. And just like a child who, well, not a child, but an adolescent who thinks they know more than they do, tend to fall in, like they say, it's almost cliche to say it, fall in with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
End up getting in over your head, and voila, you're a part of this vicious plot for this man, this guy Titan, to assume control of this criminal conglomerate.
Yeah.
And you are basically his army to take out the people or weaken the people he's going against.
So he can swoop in.
So he can swoop in and take over. And the whole time he's thinking, Invincible's thinking like, oh, I got this. Oh yeah, plus I got backup.
And like, I'm helping this man's family. I'm helping get out of this bad situation.
And the whole time he was manipulating.
Well, we see that towards the end. Yeah, we're jumping here, but this is like they have a fight with the supervillains. It's your typical, you know, supervillains and all that. Oh yeah, they give the hero some trouble. Not that much, but they come in, and then you get the character of Battle Beast, or how he's actually known as Thawk. Yeah. And jeez, like he mollywops the entire team by himself. He puts them all in critical condition. He shows up, he shows up at death's doors, knocks on, here's the kids, bye.
Yeah. But seriously.
And like that apt comparison, I believe someone kept saying on like YouTube comments and all that. It's like if you took Darkseid and told him to fight the Teen Titans.
The thing about it is, once again, his dad tries to save him from all this. Like, dude, you have no idea how this works. Oh, yeah. You're not about this life. You've lived a very sheltered, suburban life, and the only thing that remotely even comes close is that you know, oh, my dad's Omni-Man. But you've never been on a mission. You've never seen me fight. Like when, remember that earlier episode where he went and those aliens, and he was like, you know,
like episode 2 where the alien invasion constantly happening.
And then he goes into their world and slaughters all of them.
Almost all of them.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Because they keep just coming back like roaches.
To be fair, though, that would be kind of...
But that was the whole thing about roaches. That's why I said that it's satirical in a sense that, you know, they said that roaches would be the only thing that could
survive the apocalypse.
Right. Because whenever you come out with a bug spray, they adapt and come back with the resistance for it. Yeah. Same thing with these. They're like roaches. You kill them. Oh, they can't breathe in our atmosphere. They age too fast. Okay, we got this little wristband. Oh yeah, we'll cut the wristbands off. Okay, now we got these suits. Okay, come back. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like.
So he went back and slaughtered them all, but they came back.
Yeah, they'll come back because they always come back.
Like roaches.
Yeah. But then, like with this, like with the episode where I said it's bloody, it's like it is very. In comparison to the previous episodes, yeah, there's blood, there's violence, but on this extent, with how badly the Guardians of the Globe and Mark get brutalized,
beat down.
I was like Monster Girl in the next episode needs a special like thing to heal her. And the government agency that works for the world doesn't have it. Mark, because he's...
And that's where they get they're still a little bit from Black Panther, but go ahead.
Yeah, like... well, to be fair, like, Image Comics, the thing was on for a while, but I'm not sure if they had the Black Panther thing, and
They had to have a little flower plant or whatever.
It might have been in the comics for a while, because, like I said... I think they used the old ones, but they started to do like a reboot of it later. But going for, Mark gets his chest split open by Battle Beast.
with that scepter or whatever it was.
I want to say club.
Mm-hmm.
Like dude smashed him.
Made out of steel.
Yeah, like smashed him into the floor. Like his chest literally. Like I think it doesn't split all the way open.
Cracks.
But it cracks up. It cracks, and like I think you can see it at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when all the other villains are getting and in the distance you see Omni-Man. He's just kind of sitting there watching all this. Like,
yeah.
Really.
I told him.
He's like.
Try to tell you.
Is it a villain thing for him to like to stay back and not help his kid?
You know, my dad used to tell me, as a father, when you're raising children, it's your job to tell them about the dangers that they could face, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to save them from themselves or from the situation. But sometimes you have to let somebody bump their head in order for them to learn to duck.
Yeah.
And you could tell in that case right there, he was like, I've been trying to tell you this whole time. Now, he can't kill you, but he hurts you bad.
Like, he probably can't kill you, like, if he tries to, obviously, like, probably like,
right.
I think he also says, like, why are you helping him? He's a bad guy. I don't care how bad his situation is.
He's like, I'm gonna let you figure this out.
He's like, alright, is it kind of a villain thing to do? A little, but, like, my dad just said, he's like, sometimes you gotta let the person bump their head. Sometimes you gotta let them fall down.
I've been telling you to duck. And he's like, okay, boop.
You didn't duck. So, when the other... basically, I think Battle Beast just gets bored. He's like, alright, I'm out. This is boring.
You guys don't pose a real threat.
I think it's either that, or... Because the plot synopsis, he's like, the other villains are getting beat up. He's like, this is boring. Or he's so bored after being like, these are the strongest ones. I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, I think he knows that he probably can't kill Invincible.
Maybe.
But what would be the point of just, what, are you going to turn him into Jello? And then what? You know what I mean? Like, literally, then what?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
The setup that's going from there is interesting because he left on his own, right?
Yeah, because...
Which means he could easily come back on his own.
Yeah, because it says he leaves the battle due to his ignominy. I'm probably pronouncing that way wrong. IGNOMIN.
Definition right here, like, bing.
Like, I'll probably just look it up or something like that, like, while we have it here, because the evac shows up and it's like, oh hey, like we need to get him out of here now.
Yeah. We got bigger fish to fry, as they would say.
Yeah, like we need to help him get out of here. They arrest Machine Head. Apparently Cecil just, I don't know, kills Machine Head somehow. Which makes me wonder, how do you kill this man who has a robot head, but the rest of his body's flesh and all that? Or maybe it's just flesh covered in robot powder.
Could be.
Yeah, you take over, and Titan takes over Machine's Head operation by the end of the episode. It's like, yeah, that's why.
Which I will say to anybody that watches, catches the reference, this looks extremely like the show Power, how they did, because Ghost is always manipulating from behind the scenes. And almost seems unassuming, like nah, he couldn't. And then, right in the end, like a ghost out of the shadows, steps right into prominence. Like, this was my plan all along to take over. But if you watch the show Power, you'll definitely catch the similarities.
Yeah, and like his daughter goes like, "Oh, is this Amy in our house?" And I was like, "Yeah." This is where we're gonna
Ghost had kids with little daughter Raina and all. Yeah, it's there.
And then this is near the end of the episode. Basically, when Invincible's in the hospital, Eve is the one helping Amber with the
inside's like Jello.
Yeah, Eve is the one helping Amber out in the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
She says she needs direction after quitting being a superhero. She's like, what do I need to do? Like, I love being a superhero, but what do I do now?
You know, I don't know if I came to it on my own with you pointing out the direction, or if I became just polarized by what you were saying and I just immediately started thinking about it and that's all I could see. I stopped liking Amber about 2 episodes ago.
You're not the only one. Hey, here's the thing, people. before people come in and say, "Oh, you don't like Amber because she's black," or if you don't like her because she's a woman.
That's not the case.
Because we're black.
Yeah.
So you can't use that excuse.
And my mother is a woman.
Yeah. And here's the thing: we can call out poorly written characters all we want.
There you go.
But she'll get her own episode going into the details. I'll give it for someone who hasn't been in a relationship. My father will give it for someone who has been in a relationship. Yeah. Maybe I'll get my younger brother a trustless and get his point of view. Yeah. Despite not having seen the episode, I had like an outsider's point of view. But we do that, and then Cecil calls. But going forward with the plot, Cecil calls in Eve like, "Yo, we need your help. Mark's in the hospital. Maybe you should come see him."
Right.
And beat that. And basically, when they're like testing out, like where they're helping out Mark, basically like the scientists are like, "Yo, we took his blood, but nothing kills it. We tried viruses, we tried fire, we tried this, we tried that." They tried a whole bunch of different things to actually. Got 2 phone calls. Hello. My dad's doing off, but yeah, like the whole point is like they don't know what, like just in the event that something has happened. Hello. Like in the event that something happens with Mark or, well, basically this is for Nolan. Primarily, like they need to find. Cecil knows he's the killer, so he has to find out some way to find out how to kill Omni-Man or at least neutralize him in the event that he goes crazy and tries to take over the planet or something.
Yes.
So it's like, but scientists say we don't have nothing can kill their blood,
right?
Which is very concerning if you think about it. It's like, how do we do these things? Like we can't kill him. So what happens when we do need to fight him?
It's just a matter of keeping him on your side.
At least for now.
Yeah, because if he ever decides to break bad and say, you know what, like the dad. You know what I mean?
This is primarily for the dad because Cecil knows at this point, like, yeah, he's the killer.
Well, see, this is why I feel like the dad could always be able to kill Invincible if necessary. And this is why, because the dad, Nolan, lacks empathy because he's 100% alien who was sent here for a mission and kind of like softened up being around, Mark's mom.
Basically around humans for so long.
Because
primarily Mark's mom.
The reason why he became desensitized is because he's immortal.
To an extent.
So I don't know if I tell this story, it jumps ahead. Never mind. We'll talk about it in a future episode.
We'll talk about it in a future episode. But with that was episodes 4 and 5. Overall, 5.
I'll tell you this real quick, not to cut you off, but I was wondering where they were going because remember I told you I said they were able to keep my interest all the way through, and then I got to this episode and I was like, okay, are we about to like fizzle out here? Because I've watched movies that start out good and then the ending is trash, or series that start out good, like, okay, you got me, can't wait for the next episode, like The Sopranos or Dexter. The ending is like, really, I watched all these seasons
for this.
Yeah. So I was starting, because we all have that little vein that we can, travel through, is like where you start, comparing. And I was like, are we going this route? But by the end of this episode, I was like, okay, no, it's not. That's not the case.
Like, I think this episode is primarily show off the fact that they're still setting up because Cecil knows
there's something to come.
And this is basically,
remember they cloned they had the DNA, so it's like, okay, we got somewhere to go with this.
Yeah, but then you also have the little thing about like, there's people out there stronger than you, way stronger than you. It's like that actually hurt. Yeah. All the heroes in this episode get beat down.
It's like his dad was trying to tell, like basically, like, dude, I tried to tell. I've been doing this for eons. My people before me have been doing this for eons. This is light. That's why he was like, yeah, let him go up there and with the dude that says Earth or whatever, and he's this is Earth.
Yeah, like
and He's like, you're looking for URTA, very
Urath.
right?
Yeah.
There you go. This is Earth. It's like he knows. He's like, oh, that's light. He can handle that. Or yeah, I'm gonna let him take this beat down.
Yeah, like Mark was punching above his weight class in
right.
this episode.
Right.
Mike was in lightweight. Thawk was in heavyweight.
Right. So he's kind of like, I'm gonna let you take these few beat down, and then maybe when I expose who I really am and what our mission is, you'll be more inclined to ride with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the boss with the sauce. That's my new moniker. I got the sauce. I got the seasoning. They got, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you need to know about how this works, I'm the sensei. You have to come to my dojo to figure out how this alien protect galaxy type thing works, because you are, what is he, 17, 18 years old?
He's around that. He's still in high school, so 17,
right.
18.
So he's already trying to balance the things that go on for a teenager. Let alone now you throw in, you have to protect. You are part of an alien people that will protect galaxies. You will have your own. Damn, I'm telling too much. I'll just say this. Do you think the problems that a teenager has put in front of them, or the obstacles, not problems, the obstacles set before a teenager, wait till we get to talking about these other episodes, and then put those in front of a teenager along with the regular.
Figure it out.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're gonna have to come to the man. You know what I'm saying? You got to come to the oracle. If we were talking about Matrix, you're gonna have to come to the sensei. You're gonna have to enlist in the dojo and learn how this works. Cause you trying to figure this out on your own, you getting beat down by tier 2 aliens and beasts. You having problems with lower level, you know what I'm saying, people that
you got trouble with some aliens like a few months ago.
You know what I'm saying?
You had some trouble with this. Like,
you think you ready to start with the big dogs? No. Yeah. I'm gonna let you take this beat down right here from a dude that I could smoke right now and be home for dinner without a scratch. But I'm gonna let you take this L. Just so you know, when I do expose you to what's really going on, I'll have the credence, or not even credence, but the cachet
to say like, all right,
say for you to believe what I'm talking about. Because right now you just be like, oh, what's going on? I can do this. Look at me, I'm flying. Yeah, flying, dude. That was the first thing you like. No, what was the first thing he did was throw trash into outer space. Yeah. Then he was like, fly. You couldn't even land a week ago. Yeah. Now you think you can protect the galaxy? Come on, man.
Yeah, but overall, I think this episode's pretty good.
Every father thinks like that, though. Yeah. You think you can do what I do, man?
All right.
Yeah, all right. Okay, cool. You pay all the bills. You cook. You clean. You go to work at 2:30.
And save the world.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Do it. Oh, you taking beat downs, huh? From a kitty cat on steroids. Okay. All right, here. Let me show you how this works.
All right. Yeah, but overall, I thought this episode was really good. I'm not too squeamish to blood, but it's like stuff that's almost like kind of cartoony in a way, like Mortal Kombat's, despite the fact of becoming more realistic, has always kept this like cartoony, over like complicated ways of killing people with their blood. This one's just like, it kind of seems like, like it's a little squeamish, so that's why I give the episodes like.
I think that's what gives it some gravity, is the fact that it's like that. It's like they have to show the brutality of it in order for the dad to later on come about and be like, this ain't no game.
Yeah.
Look at it. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have the alien blood,
you'd be dead 10 times over.
You'd be dead 10 times over. Look how they have that. Look at your friends. Look how your friends got mangled, victimized. If you didn't have that, and they got more experience than you. It was this alien blood that's running through my veins that saved you.
Yep.
That's all I said. It's like, for me, and this is where the generational gap between us is apparent, is because I see a lot of things from the father's perspective. Like, not the fact that he's a jerk, but just like how he's trying to tell him, like he's trying to teach him, like, dude, look, let me bring you along slowly.
Yeah.
No, I got this. Like most parents and their children. Okay, you got this? All right. Go ahead. I'm saying?
Yeah. So my rating for the episode would be like an 8.
10.
10?
No, I'm just playing.
Mine's like 8.5.
I give it an 8.5 as well.
Yeah, like it's primarily like the amount of brutality, because the only other time I've seen like the amount of brutality is like in the DC straight to video series where they're like all like I believe it was based off New 52 where they have that level of blood and violence, but that wasn't really until like near the end with the dark side, like Secret War and all that. Like that was real.
And before y'all think that I'm just jumping on the bandwagon with this, I can tell you right now, in all honesty, I've never seen an Avengers movie. I've never seen a Transformers movie. I've never seen any. I think the closest I came to it was Ant-Man, Batman, the original one with Michael Keaton.
With the original trailer, like Dark Knight Returns.
No, Michael Keaton, the '80s.
Ooh.
Where Jack Nicholson was the Joker. Okay, seeing that. Okay, and of course Christopher Reeve and the Supermans.
Like he hasn't been exposed to all the moderns.
Blade is the closest of modern that you're gonna get from me, and Ant-Man, so that don't even count.
Yeah, like Ant-Man was just like it's kind of like a side movie.
It's almost like a comedy.
Yeah, it is because it happens like off screen technically.
It's all Hellboy, but
Hellboy, well, a comic book character. I believe it's Image Comics, so I'm not part of it too.
But as far as just being in this world of that, I'm willing to admit I'm a complete outsider in this. So, of course, my analysis of these episodes seems like somebody who's. That's why my son he's like, well, DC and this guy and that guy. I'm like,
all right,
okay, sure. I'm here. All right. That's the name that goes with it. All right.
All right, but that'll be our reviews of episodes 4 and 5. Eat Your Heart Out, Neil Armstrong, and That Actually Hurt. I am Omega Zero.
I am Late Night CJ, aka Sweet Daddy, aka the boss with the sauce. In the streets.
I will catch you guys later.